You've been having order of operations since you were at least in 5th grade. Depending on your 4th grade teacher and curriculum, you might have even had it then. What's funny are all the people on social media. I can't even read the comments because they make me so mad. And they're all like, well, when I was in school in the 40s, they didn't teach us that. And I'm over here, yeah, they did. You're just like 100 years old and don't remember. That's it. But yes. Now, over the years, they've developed things to help remember order of operations. I'm always impressed with the adults and the kids that say on these things. Order of operations, y'all. It's order of operations. Okay? But you'll get a kid or sometimes an adult that'll tell you or post on there PEMDAS. And they've now changed it to GEMDAS. The only difference is the P. This means parentheses. I gotta spell it correctly. And the G means grouping. Same thing, but let's remember parentheses was that. But it's grouping. So this was understood that it was all the different types of grouping. So then they said, well, then why don't we just change it to GEMDAS instead of PEMDAS so we don't confuse the kids. So with grouping, it can be regular parentheses, brackets, fancy brackets, or even absolute value. Right? It's just grouping. So grouping comes first. If you want to call it PEMDAS and remember parentheses, but parentheses can be any of this, it's fine too. What is E? Exponent. Do we all remember E is exponent? No. And remember, I used to tell my students, we have multiplication, division, and then adding and subtracting. Why do I have it on top of each other? Can someone, okay, Gabby? That's right. You work left to right. They used to say that the P confused kids because it didn't mean just these parentheses, it means all of these. But yeah, but the M and the D and the A and the S confused kids too. I even had 7th graders today accidentally do multiplication before division because after all, the M came for the D. So, but you work left to right. Sometimes a division symbol is going to come before that. So it doesn't matter, you work left to right. For example, 4 plus 9 divided by 3 times 2. Cecilia, I have a plus sign, a division sign, and a multiplication sign. Which do I do first? Why? Multiplication, division have equal billing. See, that's why I said this is the confusing part right here. Kids assume because M comes first that you do multiplication always for division, but you don't. Same as adding and subtracting. Just because the A comes first does not mean it's before subtracting. You work left to right. So if I have a plus, a division, and multiplication, just because in PEMDAS and GEMDAS the M comes first, they have equal billing and you work left to right. So which one would I do first then? Multiplication, division come before adding and subtracting. There you go. Does everyone see that? The adding should come after dividing and multiplying because it's last. Does everyone see that? But division's going to come before that multiplication because we work left to right. So we have division, multiplication. So it's going to come before adding and subtracting, but we work left to right. So 9 divided by 3 is what, Cecilia?
3.
And I'm rewriting my problem. Now, Cecilia, what do I do?
The multiplication.
That's right. We're going to do multiplication next. Again, working left to right. So what's 3 times 2, Cecilia?
6.
Very good. And I'm rewriting my problem. So 4 plus 6 is what, Cecilia? 10. See, just like the 7th graders, y'all need a little refresher. Let's do another one. Any questions about this? I always start with this example in both classes because of what everyone really thinks, that multiplication should always be done before division, and it's not the case. It should be done before adding and subtracting, but we work left to right in the problem. Okay, so this one is 2 plus 3 squared minus 4 divided by 2 times 3. All right, Emily. Sit back, look at it. What do you think we do first? Yes, ma'am. Again, I'm going to do PEMDAS or whatever you want, GEMDAS. So we have parentheses. There's no parentheses. But exponents is next. So I'm definitely going to do the exponents. So what is 3 squared, Emily? Bless you. That's right. And I'm rewriting my problem. Emily, what do I do now?
Divide.
Yes, ma'am. Cecilia, do you see that? You sure?
Can you tissue?
Yes, go ahead. What is 4 divided by 2, Emily?
2.
Excellent. And I'm rewriting my problem. Make sure you rewrite it carefully. Now what do I do, Emily? Multiply. What is 2 times 3? Good job. Now what do I do? There you go. Now look, those of you that get confused, in this, whoops, right here. In this case, yes, the A comes before the S. But if you're working left to right, this would still work. Okay, so yes, you're adding. So 9 plus 2 is? So 11 minus 6 is 5. Any questions? Yes, Aiden.
For this one, if you subtracted first, you would still get the same answer.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, don't. We had a problem very similar to this in the other class, and it was adding and then subtracting. 3 of the kids subtracted first and then added, and it was wrong. You must work left to right, okay, for this whole thing to work, okay? Yes, Cecilia?
What happens if you mistake the subtraction for negative?
It'll still work out. Because, like, if you did -4 divided by +2, you'd get a -2, right? So a subtraction and negative sign are the same thing. Unless there's parentheses around it designating it as something else. And this right here, -2 times 3, +3 is a -6. So the negative and the minus are the same thing. I know. All right, let's do another. Any other questions? These are great questions. All right, here we go. Nine minus 3 absolute value, 2 plus 7 times 2 cubed times 3 minus 5 and absolute value minus 4. Welcome to Algebra 1.
Yes.
Make sure you copy it down correctly.
Do we need the last, like, at the end, the absolute values?
Yes, you need that absolute value symbol.
Oh wait, I misunderstood it as, okay, I thought the negative.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. No, that all is in absolute. That's what the 7th grade they started freaking out. And they're still kind of freaking out because the order of operations they had last year were nothing like this, right? So I told them, I said, okay, hold on. After you write it down, you start really looking at, okay, I have a parentheses here, I have an exponent here, I have 2 absolute value signs, so that means all of this is going to be an absolute value. You start looking at it, picking apart. Volunteer. Gabby, what do we do first? Grouping. But I have a grouping here and a big grouping here. Which one do I do first? Okay, so this is a big grouping that we're going to work in first. Does everyone see that? So inside that, we have an adding, a multiplying, an exponent, and another grouping. And she's correct. We're going to do this grouping first. So what is 3 minus 5? Now, look what I'm doing. I'm keeping the negative 2 in parentheses, and I'm rewriting my problem. Now, what do I do? Okay, so we're still working in the absolute value group. Y'all see that? And she said by PEMDAS, we do the exponent now next. So what is 2 cubed? 8. And I'm rewriting my problem, still having that negative 2 in the parentheses. Notice how I'm very careful about rewriting my problem. One wrong move. That dot start looking like a negative sign because of sloppy handwriting. Guess what? Y'all gonna subtract later on. All right, now what do? I have a plus, and we're still working inside the absolute value. I have a plus, multiplication, and what is the 8 doing with the negative 2? Okay, am I subtracting or multiplying? Multiplying, guys. Do y'all see that? Okay, so what do I do first? Yes, ma'am. Why am I not doing 8 times negative 2 if there's a negative 2 in parentheses? That's right. There's nothing to do in this parentheses. So now we move past that. We move past the exponents and we do PEMDAS and we work left to right. Here's multiplying and here's multiplying. We're doing that one first. What is 7 times 8? And I'm rewriting my problem. Now what do? And do you know what you get? That's right, negative 112. And I'm keeping it in, what is that noise? Oh, is that next door?
Yeah.
Thought it was one of y'all.
No.
Like
Somewhere outside.
All right, so notice it's still in parentheses, so we know it's a negative sign. So now what do? And what do you get? Okay, still in absolute value. Now what? And what's the absolute value of negative 110? That's right, positive 110. Now, notice the 3 is being multiplied by it, so we're going to keep it in parentheses so that we don't get confused with our 3. Now what do I do? And what do you get? All right. And then 9 minus 330 gives you positive? Negative 321 minus 4. And then what do you get? There you go. Remember when I warned y'all last year about these and how they could take the whole page?
Yeah, I had to
This isn't
move on
that
to the
bad.
next page. Didn't fit on my,
Welcome to Algebra 1.
yay.
Any questions about this? Do you see how attention to detail can make or break you?
Here,
If we mess up on one part and we try to even work on the test, we're gonna still count it off.
here.
You mean like if you give me the wrong answer because you messed up somewhere over here?
Yeah.
It's wrong.
No, it's right.
So this weekend, this 3-day weekend, even if you're out of town, last night you could have been studying everything, and then tonight just focus on order of operations, right? Just practicing some IXL links here and there.
I was sick, I didn't feel like doing anything. It's not a good excuse, but an excuse.
That is a good excuse.
All right, let's open up your book. I've got 3 examples to do with you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna be a long example.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, can I do them?
I've got 3, and I will get volunteers. We're gonna start with 15. Taylor, you sure you feel up to it?
Yeah.
All right. I have 6 plus. And the rest of you should be doing these to see if you get the right answer. Handwriting is pretty important now, right?
Yeah. The pencil broke them out of mine.
You need more lead? Taylor?
Shh.
Yeah, do you happen to have .5?
I don't think I have 0.5.
Does someone just have a pencil?
I have a
I also
pencil.
have
that I
0.7.
am using. I have a pencil. That
Just
I
use a
am
pen for right now.
using pen.
For his notes.
Whoa.
That means you gotta write carefully because we gotta move on or y'all are gonna end up with a ton of homework. Plus studying for a
Oh,
test.
No, let's not do that.
Y'all, the rest of y'all should be working this out and see if you get it. You ready, Taylor?
No, I still need to write down the problem.
Let's go, boy. It's in your book, page 40, number 15.
That's wrong.
The rest of y'all should be working this slow and steady.
This is.
Do I tell you the answer, or do I work out?
No, you're going to tell me what do I do first.
2 minus 5 in the parentheses.
Okay, so he's correct. You can either start with this group or this group. It does not matter. He's starting with 2 minus 5 in parentheses. And what do you get?
-3.
Okay, I'm rewriting my problem. If you did it the other way, it's fine too. Bless you. But I'm rewriting my problem. Because grouping is grouping. Typically you work left to right, but it really doesn't mess anything. Do I continue working with this, Taylor?
No.
That's correct. I'm working with the next group, right?
Yep.
So what do I do now?
4 minus 7 inside the no parentheses.
Okay, and what do you get?
-3.
Okay, and I'm keeping that in parentheses and rewriting my problem.
Bless you. Thank you.
That's -3.
Now what do I do?
-3 times +3.
Okay, so notice he's still working, bless you, in the bracket. He's still working in that group. But I have a plus and a multiplication. Does everyone see that who's been struggling? So he's correct. We're doing -3 times +3, and what do you get? Taylor?
-9.
-9. And I'm rewriting my problem. I'm keeping it in parentheses, just so there's no confusion. Make sure you rewrite your problem correctly. All right, now what do I do, Taylor?
3 plus -9.
That's right, we're still in that group. So 3 plus -9 is,
-6.
and I'm keeping that in parentheses.
Man, this problem loves 6s and 3s.
Now what do I do?
8 plus -8 times -3.
That's right, because I have a plus. Cecilia, are you watching? I have a plus, a multiplication, a subtraction, and an adding. So he's correct. We are multiplying. So 8 times -3 is,
-24.
and I'm rewriting my problem. Now what can I do?
Addition, subtraction. So 6 plus -24.
Okay, 6, because everything else is adding and subtracting, so 6 plus -24 is
18.
-18, and I'm rewriting my problem. Now what do I do?
-18 minus -6.
Negative and, that's right, but negative and negative is a,
Positive.
so I'm rewriting that.
Is -18 plus plus 6.
There you go.
So that's -12 plus 6. -12 plus 6 equals -6.
Very good.
So then you just go left to right.
This problem loves multiples of 3s.
Yeah.
Any questions about that? If you messed up, hopefully you see where your mistake was.
That was what a technical page.
Any questions about 15? Does everyone have it? All right, 17. I think you've already done one. Have you done
I
one?
don't think so.
Okay. Michaela, now I'm going to write this one below because it's going to take up a lot of space. So 3 plus fancy parentheses, bracket, and then regular parentheses. 4 times 8 minus 2 in parentheses plus 2 plus 7 times 4 and bracket minus 7 times 2 and fancy bracket minus 8. Okay, so Michaela, you have this 3 and the negative 8 on the out. Start, closing that up. Say, okay, I see the 2 fancy brackets. That's on the outside. And then you can start seeing, okay, there's the 2 regular brackets. And then the inside, you have parentheses. So what do you do first?
Parentheses.
Okay? So what do you do inside the parentheses first?
The multiplying.
Which is
4 times 8.
4 times 8.
Which is 32.
All right, and I'm rewriting my problem. 32 minus 2. Make sure you write it carefully. All right, now what do I do?
32 minus 2.
Good. Which is?
30.
Okay. And I'm rewriting my problem. She finished that group. Make sure handwriting is nice and neat. Now, inside the fancy and inside the brackets, do I do plus, plus, or multiplication? Well, you tell me. Think of PEMDAS or GEMDAS.
7 times 4.
Yes, ma'am. We're doing 7 times 4, which is?
28.
Very good. And I'm rewriting my problem.
I got kind of confused because the 30 with the. Wait, what?
What?
Oh, that's what I did wrong because I put the parentheses around the 30.
You can. You
Oh.
can.
Then I thought I was multiplying it with something. That's why I was like confused for a second.
No. Okay, now what do I do?
We would do 30 plus 2,
Yep. And what do you get?
32.
And I'm rewriting my problem.
What happened? Okay, you should have
And then what do I do?
You would do 32 plus 28.
And what do you get? So then we rewrite our problem.
Wait, what? So then you get rid of the little bracket thing, or does it matter?
You can keep the brackets. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because it's 60 all by itself.
Then you would do -7 times 2.
Or just 7 times 2, it doesn't matter. And what do you get?
14.
Okay. Now what do I do?
60 minus 14.
And what do you get?
46.
And you can keep that in parentheses or you can just bring it out. It doesn't really matter.
Now you would work left, right.
So if you want to keep it in little fancy things, it's fine. But yes, you work left to right. 3 plus 46 is?
49.
And 49 minus 8 is?
21.
Very good. Any questions? Got it? Emily, you have it written down? Y'all have it written down? No questions? All right, last one. 19. Someone that hadn't had a turn all day. Taylor, you've had a turn. Cecilia, you had a turn. Cecilia, you want to try it? You got it. You sure? I believe in you.
You sound like you know.
No, but I mean, I don't want her to stop in the middle of it. Let's do it.
Wait, why is there negative now? Oh, I get it.
Say it, write it down, and then kind of sit back and look at it. All right, Celia, you got it down? What do you want to do first? And by the way, it doesn't matter if you do the top or the bottom first. Treat them as almost two different problems. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. There's no rule as to whether you do the top first and the bottom first. So Cecilia, what do you want to do first?
2 minus 5.
All right, so I'm highlighting she's doing 2 minus 5 first. What do you get?
-3.
All right, she's correct. So we're going to do 6 plus -3 times 8 all over -6 plus bracket 3 plus 4 minus 7 times 3 and bracket.
This is the same digits as the first problem.
Okay, Cecilia, what do I do now?
-3 times 8.
Okay, so she's working the top totally, and you absolutely can do that. So -3 times 8, what do you get?
-24.
6 plus -24. All over -6 plus bracket 3 plus 4 minus 7 times 3 and bracket. Now what?
6 plus -4.
Yeah, you can absolutely finish it off. And what do you get? What? 6 plus -24? Cecilia?
I'm going blank, Miss Rogers, help me.
Okay, you have a positive and a negative.
You subtract, I just.
Okay. So, what do you get? 24 minus 6. Negative or positive? There you go. Good job. It's okay to go blank. I forgot how to spell what the other day.
Did you try to spell it with just 8?
Don't need to worry about it. Okay. Now, Cecilia, we got the top number. Let's work on the bottom. What do we do first?
4 minus 7.
Excellent. What is 4 minus 7?
-3.
All right. Now what?
-3 times 3. Or
Look.
3 times 3.
Yeah. Or no, that'd be -3 times 3. That's good. What do you get?
Yeah. That is 9.
Now what do I do?
You do 3 plus
And what do you get?
-6.
Now what do we do?
-6 plus -6
Is
-12.
look at you go.
Mr. Rogers?
Now, excuse me. Hold on. Okay. Cecilia. Do you remember from last year? Negative over negative becomes. So then negative 18 divided by negative 12 is definitely going to be positive 18 over positive 12. Now reduce it. Simplify it.
You divide by 2.
Okay.
Or simplify by 2.
Okay. And what do you get?
9 over 6.
Can it be simplified more? Okay. What do you get?
2 over 3.
What?
3 over 2.
Thank you. And that is it. Any questions?
Mr. Rogers?
Yes, sir?
This problem had the same digits as the first one.
Okay. You're doing page 40. And you're doing numbers 10 through 20 even. How many problems is that?
10.
Really?
Oh, wait, 5.
Okay.
6.
Okay. 6 problems. It's due tomorrow. Told y'all, now if you miss one, is it going to cost you a lot?
Yeah.
But this takes up, it can take up the whole page. So you have 6 problems. Test is tomorrow. Since y'all's are a little bit more difficult, you get fewer problems.
So honors are doing
But it just hurts even more.
Oh, honors. Forgot. Honors. $12 through 20 even, and number 34. There. Last year I don't know why. Didn't put that on there.
34.
Yep. So same amount of problems.